Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Oklahoma City Sports Network. I am your host, the Cowboy Crab, and tonight we're halfway through the season 35 season, and the Twisters remain undefeated and are in prime position to take the Plains Division and potentially number one seed in the Western Conference in general. So, on today's episode, we will recap Week 3 and look ahead to tonight's matchup, which is our Week 4 matchup against the Pemberley Punishers. Earlier on, this was looking like a very tough matchup. The Punishers have started to slip a little bit, and tonight, loss for them would continue their slip and fall. But now for tonight's matchup, we will be live here in Oklahoma City to host the Pemberley Punishers, which unfortunately will not be streamed by me because I cannot stream on 11 p.m. on a Monday night. But the Punishers, they sit at 1-2 right now going into tonight's matchups. Our Twisters remain 3-0. But let's look ahead to let's look at last week's matchup against the Roblox Warriors, where we got the win there it was a very, very long matchup, to say the least. But it was another win. It was a big win, a 30-point victory, 47-77 for the Twisters on the road getting their victory. But tonight is going to be an interesting night. But, of course, let's look back at the stats from last week. Bailey, 32 for 42, 814 passing yards, 76.2 completion percentage, 11 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions on the night for Bailey. And Randy, 31 for 41, 626 passing yards, 75.6 completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, rushing yards for both of those quarterbacks, Bailey, 7 rushes for 40 yards, and Randy, 9 rushes, 47 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving cores for both of those sides. Carabine, 10 receptions, 227 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, was sparkled. 8 receptions, 353 receiving yards. The big play receiver for the Twisters after the trade. 4 touchdowns, Samuel. 7 receptions, 94 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. He had Soul Swings, 1 reception, 23 receiving yards. Tamables, 2 receptions, 30 receiving yards, and touchdowns. Ohuhu, 3 receptions, 74 receiving yards. And Parker, 1 reception for 13 receiving yards. Defensive-wise for the Twisters, BBLA, not letting up any sacks. So here's for the centers. BBLA, Big Bada, and Mission Accomplished. None of them let up any tackle for losses or sacks. Now when you get to the defense, Ohoho, I think it's how you say that name, 1 sack. Tamables with an interception, and Carabine with an interception. And it appears there is nothing for kicking or miscellaneous. So at the receiving core, though, for the Warriors, you had Pye with 6 receptions, 182 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Jesse with 4 receptions, 163 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Football Effect, 1 reception, 41 receiving yards. Lord Suno, 2 receptions, 19 receiving yards. Frankie, 7 receptions, 66 receiving yards. Fear Tiny, 11 receptions, and 155 receiving yards. Cherry had 1 sack out of 12 drives at center. And defensive-wise, Pyewood got an interception, and Jesse got an interception. But, that is all the statistics for our last week matchup. Now, let's prepare. Let's get an idea, for this week's matchup. So, obviously, I think the Twist. You're not going to get into your really tough matchups. Well, your final 2 matchups is where it's going to get interesting. Your Week 6 matchup is going to be the most toss-up if the Vikings continue the way they are. The Aztecs, they were looking great early on, and now they have fallen to 2-2 record. But the thing is, I think the Twisters, they get the big win at home. The Punishers, I don't think they can stop that offense. If we remember how they did against Kingo's Rockford Raptors, because that's not their official name, but that's just what I like to call them. But if you look to how they did last week, they got shut out 44-0. I don't think they can stop this offense, and I think it might even be worse. It's either going to be a forfeit by the third quarter, or they're going to go like the whole game, and the final score is going to be. I think it's going to be like. I think it's going to be. What am I going to say the final score is? I think final score or 64 to. I don't know, 17. The defense is definitely the weak spot, so I can definitely see them letting up a few drives. But I don't think the offense is going to be stopped whatsoever tonight. So Twisters will go 4-0 heading into their matchup next week for their final road game of the season against the Mexico City Aztecs, which is a in-division matchup, a Plains Division matchup, and then we will look forward to the Red River Rivalry matchup, the NARA Red River Rivalry matchup between the Blue Steel City Vikings and the Oklahoma City Twisters. Winner will get the Plains Division, and potentially the number 1 seed. The only other teams that can currently pose a threat to that number 1 seed are the Charleston Jackrabbits, and that's it. The Jackrabbits are the only other team that can stop the Twisters or Vikings from getting the 1 seed. However, let's just quickly get into some other things I've missed from the Twisters throughout the season. So, where is it? I know what I'm looking for. I just gotta find it. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. I just can't seem to find it because I'm stupid. I know what I'm looking for, though. I can't find. I guess I can't find it, but I was trying to find where the team of the week the cards went. Oh, here they are, player cards. So I think this is where they're at. I guess it's not loading. That's fun. Well, I guess that's what we're going to... Oh, wait, never mind. It's loaded. Okay. So, week 2 for Team of the Week-wise, there were no Twisters players. But for week 1, I know we did have one Twisters player get Team of the Week. And that was, of course, our star quarterback, Bailey. Week 1 Team of the Week for Season 35. But, yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I missed. Because the trade deadline I'm pretty hit. But the release deadline also closing tonight. But yeah, I think that's going to be it here for you. It's a little bit of a shorter episode, but not a lot to talk about. So we're going to end it here for you, folks. Representing the Oklahoma City Sports Network, I'm the Cowboy Crab, saying so long, everybody.